It's just after lunch. The house is quiet. The sunlight has gone from warm to drowsy. And you're sitting in your chair, not exactly tired, not exactly alert. Just low. Not sleepy enough for a nap, but not energetic enough to get up and do much of anything. Even your favorite afternoon show doesn't seem interesting anymore. Now rewind to that same morning. When you opened your eyes, it wasn't with zest or intention. It was more of a slow roll. Maybe you stayed in bed a little longer. Maybe your feet felt a bit heavier. And as you shuffled to the kitchen for your first cup of coffee, a quiet thought crossed your mind. Where did all my energy go? If that sounds like you, I want to tell you something right away: you are not alone. As a doctor who has spent over 20 years working with older adults, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that exact story. And it's almost always followed by the same question. Is this just what aging feels like? The answer, the real, honest, medically grounded answer, is no. This is not what aging has to feel like. Because what you're experiencing isn't simply age. It's not just getting older. It's your body quietly trying to tell you something important: it's missing the right kind of fuel. See, as we grow older, our energy system becomes more delicate, more specific in its needs. Sleep alone won't fix it. Rest isn't enough. Your energy tank doesn't refill the same way it used to. What it needs is smarter fuel. But here's the good news: this isn't about expensive supplements or chasing down exotic ingredients from a health food store. This is about real food. Common food. Food that you might already have sitting in your kitchen, just waiting to be used for a better purpose. Because if there's one thing I've learned after 2 decades in practice, it's this. The right food, at the right time, can feel like a miracle. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 5 foods I've seen change lives. Foods that support your muscles, your brain, your metabolism, and yes, your spirit. These aren't trends. They aren't fads. They are backed by science, supported by decades of patient stories, and carefully chosen to work with your aging body, not against it. I'm also going to explain why they work. What happens inside your body, down to the cellular level, when you give it what it truly needs. I'll show you how to avoid the common traps, the sugary snacks that trick you into a quick lift but leave you crashing hard. The empty carbs that rob your brain of clarity. The dehydration that mimics fatigue. The hidden nutrient deficiencies that go unnoticed but quietly chip away at your stamina. And finally, I'll share stories. Real stories. From real people over 60 who, just like you, were tired of being tired, and who found their energy again. Not by doing more, but by changing what they put on their plate. So if you've been waking up tired, dragging yourself through the day, or wondering why your energy doesn't bounce back like it used to, stay with me. You might be just one food away from feeling better. Coming up, we'll start with one of the most misunderstood foods in the senior diet. It's creamy. It's rich. And it's not a guilty pleasure, it's one of your body's best-kept secrets for long-lasting energy. Let's talk about the surprising power of avocado. Now let's talk about something most people over 60 don't hear often enough, especially not from doctors. When you're feeling tired, sluggish, or foggy, most of the advice you get sounds like this. Get more sleep. Take it easy. Maybe you're just getting older. But I want to offer you something more honest. Something deeper. Because after 2 decades working with older adults, I can tell you, your energy problems probably don't start with sleep. They start with what happens after you eat. Let me explain. See, your body is like a complex machine. And like any machine, it runs on fuel. That fuel comes from food, broken down into glucose, fats, and amino acids. Your cells take that fuel and use it to create energy. Real energy. The kind that helps you stand, walk, think, and even smile. But here's the catch: after 60, this system starts to slow down. Not break down, slow down. Your metabolism isn't as fast. Your ability to process glucose isn't as smooth. Your mitochondria, the tiny batteries inside each of your cells, don't fire as efficiently. And the food you used to eat without a second thought? It doesn't give you the same kick it used to. In fact, some of that food may be stealing your energy. Let's look at a few examples. Example 1, the blood sugar roller coaster. When you eat refined carbs, things like white bread, crackers, sugary snacks, your blood sugar spikes. You feel a quick burst of energy. But then? It crashes. And when it crashes, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol to try and balance things out. That stress response makes you feel tired, anxious, and hungry, often all at once. Example 2, chronic inflammation. As we age, many of us develop low-grade inflammation in the body. It doesn't hurt, not like a twisted ankle, but it's there, quietly damaging tissue and draining your energy. Inflammatory foods like processed meats, vegetable oils, and excessive sugar feed this fire. Example 3, cellular dehydration. Even if you drink plenty of water, your body may not be retaining it well. Older cells become less efficient at holding on to hydration. That means your tissues are drier, your joints ache more, and your organs work harder just to function normally. The result? Fatigue, stiffness, and slow recovery after even light activity. Example 4, nutrient deficiencies. Over time, the digestive system becomes less efficient at absorbing certain nutrients, especially B vitamins, magnesium, potassium, and omega-3 fatty acids. These nutrients are essential for energy metabolism. Without them, you may feel tired even if you're sleeping 8 hours a night. So what's the takeaway? Fatigue after 60 is often a fuel problem, not a rest problem. And that's why food matters so much more in your golden years. What you eat doesn't just fill you up, it decides how your cells perform. It controls how stable your blood sugar is, how hydrated your tissues stay, how much inflammation your body fights, and how well your brain functions. But there's good news. Because while these changes are real, they're also reversible. You can support your mitochondria. You can stabilize your blood sugar. You can nourish your brain and hydrate your cells with the right foods. Not pills. Not powders. Just food. And here's what makes this so empowering: the foods that work best for you right now are often the simplest, the most natural, the most familiar. They're the foods that match your body's slower rhythm, its gentler needs, its desire for balance over speed. So in the next section, we're going to dive into the first of 5 foods that I consider essential for anyone over 60 who wants to feel strong, focused, and energized again. This food doesn't come in a package with a label. It doesn't promise energy in 10 minutes or boost metabolism instantly. What it does is something far more valuable. It provides steady, slow-burning, deeply nourishing fuel, the kind your heart, brain, and muscles can actually use. Let's begin with avocado, a food that's earned its place as a daily staple in the lives of many of my most energized patients. Let me ask you something. What comes to mind when you think of an avocado? Maybe you picture that creamy green flesh spread across toast, or sliced into a salad. Maybe you've heard it's high in fat and wondered if it's something you should avoid. Well, I'm here to tell you the truth. If you're over 60 and struggling with low energy, avocado is not just okay, it's one of the best foods you can eat. Let me explain why. First, let's talk about blood sugar stability. One of the most common, and most underdiagnosed, causes of energy crashes in older adults is unstable blood sugar. After 60, your body doesn't manage glucose the way it used to. A slice of white bread, a glass of fruit juice, or even a handful of crackers can give you a quick boost, followed by a sharp drop. And when your blood sugar crashes, you feel it. You get tired, foggy, maybe even a little shaky or irritable. And the more this happens, the harder it becomes to trust your own energy. You begin to feel like you're running on fumes. That's where avocado comes in. Avocados are packed with monounsaturated fats, the kind of fat your heart loves, and your brain needs. But more importantly, these fats slow the absorption of sugar in your bloodstream. That means when you eat an avocado with a meal, the energy from your food gets released more gradually. You stay full longer. Your mood stays stable. And your energy doesn't drop off a cliff an hour later. Think of it like adding a log to the fire instead of kindling. It keeps the flame going all day, without the sudden flare-ups or burnout. But avocado doesn't stop there. It's also a rich source of vitamin B6, one of the key vitamins your body uses to convert food into energy. B6 is especially important for muscle metabolism, and after 60, that matters more than ever. You might have noticed that tasks that once felt easy, carrying laundry, walking upstairs, getting in and out of a car, now feel more tiring. That's often because your muscles aren't getting the fuel they need to function efficiently. B6 helps fix that. Next up, potassium. You've probably heard that bananas are high in potassium, and they are. But avocados actually contain even more. And potassium is essential for maintaining proper hydration, regulating blood pressure, supporting muscle function, and ensuring smooth communication between your nerves and muscles. When you don't get enough potassium, you might feel off balance, weak, or crampy. I've had patients tell me their legs felt like wet concrete. Often, all it took was more potassium to fix it. Avocados also contain magnesium, which supports hundreds of biochemical reactions in your body, including those involved in energy production, muscle control, and brain function. Low magnesium is common in older adults and often shows up as fatigue, restlessness, or sleep problems. And here's something many people don't realize: fat-soluble vitamin absorption. If you're taking vitamins A, D, E, or K, or if you're eating leafy greens, carrots, sweet potatoes, or eggs, your body can't fully absorb those nutrients unless there's a healthy fat present in your meal. Avocado provides that fat, which acts as a carrier for those essential vitamins, helping your body actually use what you eat. It's one thing to take a supplement. It's another to absorb it. Now, let me share a story with you. Eileen is a retired teacher, 68 years old, and sharp as a tack. But she came to me a few months ago because she was struggling with what she called the 2 p.m. crash. Every afternoon, like clockwork, her energy just disappeared. She'd sit down to rest, and couldn't get back up. Her doctor had ruled out anything serious. She was sleeping fine. But still, she felt drained. We reviewed her diet. Her breakfast was usually toast and tea. Sometimes cereal. Sometimes fruit. Nothing too heavy. Nothing too fatty. And nothing that lasted. I suggested something simple: start her day with half an avocado, either mashed onto whole grain toast or blended into her morning smoothie. 2 weeks later, she came back with a smile on her face. She told me, "I haven't reached for my second cup of coffee all week. I feel steady." That's the magic of avocado. It doesn't give you a buzz. It gives you consistency. And at our age, that's exactly what we need. Here's how to make it work for you. Morning option: half an avocado on whole grain toast with a sprinkle of hemp seeds. Smoothie option: blend half an avocado with almond milk, spinach, and a frozen banana. Lunch option: add slices to a salad, wrap, or hard-boiled egg bowl. Snack option: mash with lemon juice, olive oil, and sea salt for a quick guacamole dip with carrot sticks. No matter how you enjoy it, just remember, this simple, creamy fruit is one of the most powerful tools you have for steady, sustainable energy after 60. Coming up next, we're going to talk about a food that's almost the opposite of avocado in size, but just as mighty in impact. Tiny, powerful, and full of surprises, let's take a closer look at chia seeds. Now that you've got a steady burning fuel like avocado working in your system, let's zoom in on something much smaller, a seed so tiny you might miss it on your kitchen counter, but powerful enough to shift how your body manages energy, hydration, and inflammation. I'm talking about chia seeds. These little black or white seeds, native to Central and South America, have become more popular in recent years, but they're more than just trendy. In fact, I believe chia seeds should be a daily staple for anyone over 60 looking to improve their energy and resilience. Here's why. Let's start with something you may have experienced before, that strange combination of being tired and thirsty at the same time. You've been drinking water, but you still feel off, a little foggy, maybe even a bit dizzy or unsteady. What's happening? That might be cellular dehydration. As we age, our cells become less efficient at holding on to water. That means you could be drinking enough fluids, but the hydration isn't making it into the cells where it's actually needed. And that's where chia seeds come in. When you soak chia seeds in water, even for just 10 to 15 minutes, they form a soft, gel-like coating. That gel is mucilaginous fiber, and it acts like a sponge inside your body, helping to retain water in your digestive tract longer. This not only supports smoother digestion but allows your body to stay hydrated on a cellular level, where fatigue truly begins. And that's just the beginning. Chia seeds are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based fat that's essential for brain function and reducing inflammation. Inflammation, in many ways, is the silent energy thief of aging. You don't feel it the way you'd feel a pulled muscle or a cold, but it quietly taxes your immune system, your joints, and your energy levels. When inflammation is high, your body has to work overtime just to function normally, and that leads to burnout. Reducing that inflammation frees up resources and helps your body feel more fluid, more mobile, and more alive. Now, let's talk about blood sugar again. We already discussed how avocado helps slow down sugar absorption. Chia seeds do the same, but in a different way. The soluble fiber in chia seeds creates a thick, slow-moving gel in your digestive system, which slows the breakdown of carbohydrates and the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. The result? A flatter blood sugar curve and far fewer energy crashes throughout the day. Chia seeds also bring something else to the table: plant-based protein and essential minerals. Just 1 ounce of chia seeds, about 2 tablespoons, contains 4 grams of protein, 11 grams of fiber, nearly 180 milligrams of calcium, 95 milligrams of magnesium, 115 milligrams of potassium. That's a nutritional punch for something that can fit in the palm of your hand. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold, one of my favorite patients. He's a 75-year-old gardener, lean, strong, and outdoors every morning. But a year ago, he came into my office with a simple complaint. "Doc," he said, "I love working in the garden, but by 10 a.m., I'm done. I feel like I've used up my whole day's energy in 2 hours." We talked about hydration, muscle recovery, and his breakfast, which was usually just coffee and toast. I suggested something new: add a spoonful of soaked chia seeds to his morning yogurt or oatmeal. He looked skeptical. "That's it?" "That's it," I said. A month later, he came back smiling. "I don't know what's in those seeds, but I'm not dragging anymore. My knees are still old, but the rest of me feels younger." That's the quiet power of chia. It doesn't rev you up, it keeps you going. Here are a few easy ways to incorporate chia seeds into your routine. Chia water: soak 1 tablespoon of chia seeds in 8 ounces of water for 15 to 30 minutes. Add lemon juice or mint if you like. Sip it slowly in the morning. Overnight chia pudding: mix 3 tablespoons of chia seeds with 1 cup of almond milk and a splash of vanilla. Let it sit in the fridge overnight. In the morning, top with berries or sliced banana. Oatmeal booster: stir a spoonful of soaked chia into your steel-cut oats for extra hydration, fiber, and protein. Smoothie enhancer: add 1 tablespoon of dry or pre-soaked chia seeds into your daily smoothie. It thickens the texture and supercharges the nutrition. The best part? You don't need to use a lot. Even a single tablespoon a day can begin to shift your hydration, your digestion, and your energy levels. It's small. It's simple. And for many seniors, it's a game changer. Coming up next, we'll take a look at a fruit you've probably known your whole life. It's soft. It's sweet. And it just might be the fastest natural energy boost your body needs. Let's talk about the surprising benefits of bananas, and how they can help your muscles fire, your brain stabilize, and your energy bounce back in minutes. Now let's talk about something you've probably eaten 1,000 times without giving it much thought. Bananas. Simple. Soft. Sweet. Affordable. Available year-round. And most importantly, packed with exactly what an aging body needs when energy levels drop without warning. It might surprise you to hear this from a doctor, but when one of my patients tells me they've been feeling shaky mid-morning, or suddenly wiped out in the middle of a walk, I often tell them to start carrying a banana. Why? Because bananas offer something most quick snacks can't, a perfect balance of fast and steady energy. Let's break it down. Bananas contain 3 natural sugars, glucose, fructose, and sucrose. Each of these sugars is absorbed by your body at a slightly different rate. That means bananas give you an immediate lift, a steady boost, and a longer-lasting release, all in one piece of fruit. Compare that to a candy bar or sweetened drink. Those might give you a rush, but they also give you a crash. Bananas don't work like that. They fuel you in stages, with the support of natural fiber to slow down digestion and stabilize blood sugar. But energy isn't just about sugar. It's also about electrolytes, and one of the most important electrolytes in your body is potassium. Potassium regulates fluid balance, nerve signals, and muscle contractions. Without enough potassium, you may experience leg cramps, muscle weakness, irregular heart rhythms, dizziness upon standing, fatigue, even after a good night's sleep. And guess what? Many older adults, especially those on blood pressure medication or diuretics, have low potassium levels and don't even know it. One medium banana contains about 400 to 450 milligrams of potassium, or around 10% of your daily need. And it comes with 0 sodium, no artificial sweeteners, and nothing processed. That's why bananas are so effective for seniors who struggle with sudden energy dips, muscle fatigue during walking or chores, feeling unsteady when standing up quickly, recovery after light activity or physical therapy. Now, here's a little trick I recommend to almost all my patients, especially those who feel tired or hungry within an hour of eating breakfast. Pair a banana with a spoonful of peanut butter, or any natural nut butter you like. Why does this work? Because the healthy fats and protein in the nut butter slow down how quickly your body digests the banana's sugars. The result is sustained energy, perfect for a long walk, gardening, or a busy morning of errands. And there's more. Bananas are also rich in vitamin B6, supports neurotransmitter function, helps convert food into energy, and plays a role in mood regulation. Vitamin C supports immune health and helps protect cells from damage. Magnesium helps with muscle relaxation and cellular energy production. Prebiotic fiber feeds your gut bacteria, which improves digestion and overall health. Let me tell you about Charles, one of my patients who's now 70 years old. He came in last year complaining of morning fatigue. I get up, he told me, but by 10 a.m., I feel like I need to lie down again. I can't focus. I can't even finish the crossword puzzle without needing a break. We looked at his breakfast, nothing. Sometimes just coffee. Sometimes toast, but only if he remembered. I suggested something small, half a banana with peanut butter before his morning walk. He didn't think it would work. But he agreed to try. 1 week later, he called my office. "Doc," he said, "I finished my walk, and I didn't need to sit down every 15 minutes like I used to. I actually made it home and still had energy to fold laundry." It wasn't caffeine. It wasn't a supplement. It was fuel. The kind his body could actually use. That's the beauty of bananas. They're gentle on the stomach, naturally easy to digest, ideal before light physical activity, and portable. Keep one in your bag, glove box, or pocket. And unlike many other fruits, bananas don't need refrigeration. They don't need to be washed. And you can eat them with one hand. Here are a few simple ways to use bananas to your advantage. Pre-walk snack, half a banana with nut butter. Breakfast boost, slice into steel-cut oats for potassium and sweetness. Afternoon lift, whole banana with a handful of almonds. Smoothie base, blend with avocado, chia seeds, and spinach for a complete energy shake. Just one banana a day can help maintain your balance, reduce cramping, and fight off that afternoon dip that sneaks up on so many people after 60. Coming up, we're going to explore a food that supports both your muscles and your mind, a breakfast classic that offers one of the most complete sources of protein available. Let's talk about eggs, and how one small habit can strengthen your body, sharpen your memory, and rebuild the energy foundation you thought was gone for good. Let's talk about a food that's been sitting quietly in your fridge for years, one that many people take for granted, yet few truly understand when it comes to energy, strength, and brain health. I'm talking about eggs. Simple, familiar, and often overlooked. But let me tell you something I've said to hundreds of patients over the years, especially those over 60 who've told me they feel weaker, more tired, or less steady than they used to. The key to more energy might be sitting inside one egg. Let's start with the basics. One large egg contains about 6 grams of high-quality, complete protein. That means it has all the essential amino acids your body needs to repair muscle, support metabolism, and maintain strength, especially after a night of fasting during sleep. Why is that important? Because after the age of 60, you start losing muscle at a faster rate than your body can rebuild it. It's a condition called sarcopenia, and while it sounds clinical, the effects are very real. You start to notice it when carrying groceries feels heavier than before. Getting up from a chair takes more effort. Your arms feel tired after folding laundry. You can't open a jar you used to twist with ease. You're more likely to trip, wobble, or feel off balance. Most people don't realize that muscle loss equals energy loss. When your muscles weaken, your body has to work harder to do everyday tasks. You use more effort, burn through fuel faster, and feel exhausted sooner. But here's the good news. Eating protein in the morning, especially complete protein like eggs, gives your body the tools it needs to start the day strong. Not just full, but functional. And there's more to eggs than just protein. They're one of the best natural sources of choline, a nutrient essential for brain function, memory, and mood regulation. Choline is used to produce acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that helps your brain send signals efficiently. It's linked to better memory recall, quicker thinking, and reduced risk of cognitive decline. Sadly, choline is missing from many modern diets, especially as we get older. And that's one reason why many people over 60 begin to notice mental fog or forgetfulness creeping in. One egg gives you about 150 milligrams of choline, almost 30% of what you need each day. Now let's talk about another powerhouse nutrient in eggs, vitamin B12. B12 plays a critical role in helping your body convert food into energy. It also supports nerve function and the production of red blood cells, which carry oxygen throughout your body. Low levels of B12 can cause fatigue, weakness, poor balance, numbness or tingling in hands and feet, brain fog and difficulty concentrating. And guess what? B12 deficiency is very common in people over 60, especially those taking certain medications like antacids or metformin, which interfere with absorption. But just one egg per day can be a simple, natural step toward protecting your energy, your memory, and your mobility. Now let me tell you about Mr. Raymond. He's a retired librarian, 72 years old, sharp, witty, and always reading something. But last year, he came into my office frustrated. "I feel slower," he said. "Not just physically. My thoughts. My body. I'm not myself." I asked about his breakfast. For years, he'd been skipping it, thinking it made him sluggish. Or he'd grab toast with jam, quick carbs, little else. I suggested something very simple, one boiled egg each morning. That's it. A week later, he told me, I don't know what changed, but I feel more alert. I don't need to sit down after sweeping the porch anymore. It wasn't magic. It was nutritional support his body had been missing. Now, you might be wondering, what about cholesterol? Yes, eggs contain cholesterol. But decades of research now show that for most people, dietary cholesterol has little effect on blood cholesterol. In fact, eating eggs regularly can increase HDL, the good cholesterol, while having a neutral effect on LDL for many individuals. If you have a history of heart disease, you should talk with your doctor. But for the vast majority of healthy adults over 60, eggs are not only safe, they're incredibly beneficial. Here are a few ways to start adding eggs back into your morning. Simple boiled egg, prepare the night before. Eat with a piece of fruit or whole grain toast. Vegetable scramble, sauté spinach, tomatoes, and mushrooms in olive oil, then add eggs. Mini egg muffins, mix eggs, veggies, and herbs in a muffin tin. Bake and store for the week. Poached or sunny side up, served over steel-cut oats or sweet potatoes for a savory twist. Eggs are versatile, affordable, easy to digest, and deeply nourishing. They won't give you a sugar spike. They won't leave you crashing. But they will give your muscles, your brain, and your nerves the steady support they need to get through the day, and enjoy it. Next up, we'll explore a grain that often gets overlooked, but may be the key to keeping your energy stable until lunch, your blood sugar balanced, and your heart stronger with every bite. Let's take a closer look at steel-cut oats, the slow-burning log your morning fire needs. If eggs are the spark that jump-starts your day, then steel-cut oats are the slow-burning log that keeps your energy steady, warm, and consistent, long after breakfast is over. Let me be clear, not all oats are created equal. Many people think of oats and picture the instant packets, loaded with sugar, quick to cook, quick to eat, and unfortunately, quick to crash. But steel-cut oats? These are different. They're less processed. That means your body has to work a little harder to digest them. But that's a good thing, because that slower digestion gives you a steady release of energy, instead of a sugar spike followed by a sudden drop. Here's what happens when you start your morning with steel-cut oats. Your blood sugar rises slowly. You stay full longer. Your energy lasts well into the afternoon. You avoid the mid-morning or early afternoon crash that so many older adults face daily. Let's talk nutrients. Steel-cut oats are rich in a special kind of fiber called beta-glucan. This soluble fiber forms a gel-like consistency in your digestive tract, helping to lower LDL, bad cholesterol, improve blood sugar control, feed beneficial gut bacteria, support smoother digestion. And when your gut is functioning well, when your blood sugar is stable, and your microbiome is nourished, your entire system performs better. That includes your mood, mental clarity, inflammation levels, and physical energy. You might not feel it immediately like you would with caffeine. But over days and weeks, you'll start to notice something: you're not crashing. You're not starving by 10:30 a.m. You're not desperate for a nap by noon. Instead, you feel solid, grounded, clear. Let's not forget the minerals. Steel-cut oats are packed with iron, crucial for red blood cell production and oxygen transport. Low iron equals low energy. Magnesium helps regulate muscle and nerve function, blood sugar levels, and blood pressure. Phosphorus and manganese support bone strength and metabolism. B vitamins help convert food into energy at a cellular level. Let me share a story. Grace, 66, came into my clinic not long ago. A retired nurse, full of heart, full of humor, but dragging herself through the morning. "I'm exhausted before the day even starts," she told me. "And I'm not even doing that much. I'm just getting the grandkids ready for school." We looked at her breakfast. A slice of toast. Sometimes just tea. That's not fuel. That's a flicker. I asked her to try this instead: half a cup of cooked steel-cut oats, topped with blueberries and a handful of walnuts. Just 2 weeks later, she smiled and said, "I didn't even think about sitting down at the playground." I chased them around and still had energy when we got home. Steel-cut oats gave her sustainable power, the kind that doesn't shout, but stays with you. Here's how to get started. Batch cooking: cook a few servings at once. They store well in the fridge for up to 5 days. Reheat with a little water or milk. Flavor boosters: add cinnamon, nutmeg, or vanilla extract. These enhance flavor without sugar. Top it wisely: try chia seeds for hydration, banana slices for potassium, berries for antioxidants, or a scoop of almond butter for healthy fat and protein. Savory version: try oats with sautéed spinach, an egg, and a sprinkle of cheese. Think of it like a breakfast risotto. Even half a cup of cooked steel-cut oats can provide the foundation for a more stable, more resilient day. And remember, oats are gentle on the stomach. They're warm, comforting, familiar. They're not flashy, but they're reliable. And when your body craves consistency, steel-cut oats are exactly the kind of partner you want at your side. Now that we've explored these 5 powerhouse foods, avocado, chia seeds, banana, eggs, and oats, let's step back and bring everything together. Because while each of these foods is powerful on its own, the real transformation happens when you start combining them into a lifestyle that supports your body, your energy, and your spirit. Let's wrap up with one final message, a message of hope, simplicity, and the kind of change that starts with just one small bite. Let's take a breath for a moment. You've just taken in a lot of information about blood sugar, hydration, inflammation, muscle loss, digestion, and the quiet role food plays in all of it. Maybe you're even feeling a bit overwhelmed. That's completely normal. But here's the most important thing I want you to take away from everything we've talked about. Your body is not broken. It's just underfueled. And that's something you can change, one bite at a time. Because energy after 60 isn't about doing more. It's not about pushing harder or ignoring your fatigue. It's about understanding how your body works now, and feeding it accordingly. Let's quickly revisit the 5 foods that have the power to restore that spark. Avocado, for stable blood sugar, heart-healthy fats, muscle support, and enhanced nutrient absorption. Chia seeds, for hydration at the cellular level, anti-inflammatory omega-3s, and long-lasting energy through fiber and protein. Bananas, for fast, clean fuel when you need it most, plus potassium to help your muscles and nerves function smoothly. Eggs, for complete protein, choline for brain clarity, and B12 to convert food into usable energy. Steel-cut oats, for a steady, dependable start to your day, with slow-digesting carbs and gut-supporting fiber. These foods aren't magic. They're not new. They've been around for centuries. But the way you use them now, with intention, with understanding, that's where the transformation begins. And here's the best part. You don't have to change everything overnight. In fact, I don't recommend it. What I've seen work best, for real people, living real lives, is starting with just one small change. Maybe tomorrow, you skip the toast and jam and scramble an egg instead. Maybe you toss a spoonful of chia into your oatmeal. Maybe you reach for a banana instead of a second cup of coffee. Maybe you add half an avocado to your sandwich at lunch. That one choice may seem small, even insignificant. But your body notices. And when your body starts to feel better, you begin to trust it again. And when you trust your body, something amazing happens. You stop fighting against yourself. You start working with your biology. And energy becomes something you grow into, not something you chase. I've watched this happen in my clinic for 20 years. I've seen patients go from exhaustion to enthusiasm. From saying no, I can't, to saying yes, I'll come. Not because they became younger, but because they became better fueled. And it all started with food. Now, I want to speak to your heart for a moment. If you've been tired lately, if you felt that quiet frustration of not being able to keep up, if you've wondered if this is just how the rest of life is going to feel, please hear this. You are not alone. And you are not beyond help. Your energy is still there. It's waiting. It's ready to come back. It doesn't need hype, It doesn't need extremes. It just needs nourishment, the right kind, at the right time. So give yourself permission to begin. Not perfectly. Just honestly. Start small. Be curious. Be kind to your body. And watch what happens when you feed it like you love it. Because you should. You're worth the effort. You're worth the energy. And you're worth the food that helps you feel alive again. Thank you for spending this time with me. And thank you for taking care of yourself. Because the world needs you, awake, steady, and strong.